Peter Levy and the Rector of the University of New South Wales, Canberra, Professor Havinder Sidhu, will be formally received by the parade. The Chief of the Defence Force, General Angus Campbell, will now be formally received by the parade. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the arrival of the Reviewing Officer, the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, His Excellency General the Honourable David Hurley, AC, DSC, who will be accorded a royal salute by the parade. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. The parade commander will now invite the reviewing officer to inspect the parade. The Commandant of the Australian Defence Force Academy as the host officer is accompanying the reviewing officer. To accompany the inspection, the band plays the tunes Highland Cathedral and Aces High. Following his inspection of the parade, the reviewing officer will inspect the Academy band, pipes and drums before returning to the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now march past in slow and quick time with the Chief of the Defence Force Squadron leading. You are requested to stand when the Governor-General's banner passes your immediate front. Gentlemen are requested to remove hats and members in uniform are to salute, and please be seated when the banner party has marched past.
Rain! Close order! March! Rain! We'll move to A right. Aye! Turn!
march past will now be prepared for the advance and review order. The significance of this manoeuvre dates back to the 18th century British regiments and was conducted with colours in the front and centre, where the commander was also located. The formed body would maintain their battle lines, engage the enemy with maximum firepower, thwarting any attempts to drive a wedge and infiltrate the defensive line. This was done with 2 or more ranks of the open order. This advance is symbolised by the whole parade marching forward 15 paces. To complete this manoeuvre, a royal salute in the form of a present arms is conducted to show no act of aggression is intended towards the reviewing officer. The parade will now advance and review order to the playing of the March British Grenadiers, followed by the royal salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated for the advance and review order. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. The parade will now commence presentation of the 2021 prizes and awards. The Governor-General will now present the Commander-in-Chief's Award. The Commander-in-Chief's Award consists of a medal made of 22-carat gold and a sword that has been generously donated by Mr. Robert Pooley of Pooley Swords of London and is awarded for the most exceptional performance by a third-year midshipman or officer cadet in the fields of academic and military achievement, leadership, personal example and performance of duty during their time here at the Australian Defence Force Academy. The Commander-in-Chief's Award is awarded to Officer Cadet Imogen Lang, Officer Cadet Lang studied a Bachelor of Aeronautical Engineering in the Honours Program and maintained a high distinction average in her military studies. Officer Cadet Lang has maintained an average of 87%. Officer Cadet Lang has been awarded with a dual Commandant commendation in every year of her study here at ADFA. In 2021, Officer Cadet Lang was selected as the ECRO Squadron Cadet Captain and performed her role with dedication and care towards her fellow trainees, developing an inclusive and welcome culture. Officer Cadet Lang will continue her studies at ADFA in 2022 as an advanced student. The Chief of the Defence Force, General Angus Campbell, will now present the Chief of the Defence Force Sword of Honour for leadership. It is awarded to the third-year midshipman or officer cadet for outstanding leadership and consistently excellent performance by a third-year midshipman or officer cadet in the fields of officer development, personal example and application of duty during their time here at the Australian Defence Force Academy. This year, the Chief of Defence Force Sword of Honour for leadership is awarded to Officer Cadet Jessica Reid.
Yeah, Jesse!
In 2021, Officer Cadet Jessica Reid was selected as the President of the Cadets Mess. This is an extremely demanding role, with the Cadets Mess responsible for hosting a number of key functions throughout the year, as well as introducing the new officers to the mess culture that is respectful and safe, but provides a welcoming atmosphere. Officer Cadet Reid brought together an effective and enthusiastic team despite the challenges presented by the extended lockdown. Officer Cadet Reid has graduated with a Bachelor of Business and will continue her training at the Royal Military College in Duntroon in 2022.
Well done, Jess.
Yeah, Jesse!
The Chief of Service prizes are awarded to a graduate from each service for the most outstanding performance by a third-year trainee officer in the fields of military and academic achievement, leadership, personal example and service ethos during their time here at the Australian Defence Force Academy. In addition to meeting the selection criteria, the prize winners are required to be models of the defence values: service, courage, respect, integrity and excellence. Chief of Navy Vice Admiral Michael Noonan AO will present the Chief of Navy Prize. The Chief of Navy Prize is awarded to Midshipman Yu Wool Sandra Arm, Midshipman Arm was a first-year mentor and the squadron cadet captain for Alpha Squadron and demonstrated excellent commitment to the ADF values. Midshipman Arm was also active in the ADFA Rugby Club and Sisters in Arms group, whilst still maintaining excellent academic and military training results. Midshipman Arm has graduated with a Bachelor of Business degree and will undertake Maritime Warfare Officer training in 2022. Chief of Army, Lieutenant General Rick Burr, AVO, DSC, MVO, will now present the Chief of Army Prize. The Chief of Army Prize is awarded to Officer Cadet Lachlan Dance, Officer Cadet Dance is studying a Bachelor of Civil Engineering in the Honours program and has continually achieved very good academic and military training results. Officer Cadet Dance was also selected as the 14 Division Cadet Executive Officer for 2021 and is an active member of the ADFA Band's Drum Corps. Officer Cadet Dance has been distinguished by his dedication to ADF values and also to his team. Officer Cadet Dance will continue his Army Officer training at the Royal Military College Duntroon in 2022. The Deputy Chief of Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Stephen Meredith, AMDSM, will now present the Chief of Air Force Prize on behalf of Air Marshal Mel Hupfield, Chief of Air Force. The Chief of Air Force Prize is awarded to Officer Cadet Heidi Collins, Officer Cadet Collins has held the position of Squadron Cadet Executive Officer for Charlie Squadron this year. Officer Cadet Collins has graduated with a Bachelor of Science and was a first-year mentor in 2021, as well as an active member of the Military Skills, Adventure Training and Sister in Arms clubs. Officer Cadet Collins demonstrates excellent commitment to the ADF values, and in 2022, Officer Cadet Collins will continue her Air Force training at the Air Academy. The Acting Chief of Joint Capabilities, Honourable Ian Murray, will now present the Return and Services League of Australia Sword for Service. The Return and Services League of Australia Sword for Service is awarded to the third-year midshipman or officer cadet who has made the greatest contribution to ADFA by their service, adherence to ADFA values and living the attributes by personal example. The Return and Services League of Australia Sword for Service is awarded to Midshipman Chloe Ray, During 2021, Midshipman Ray was the Chief of Staff in the Academy Cadet Headquarters and was heavily involved in activities across the entire Academy. Midshipman Ray has been a powerful advocate for mental health and demonstrated excellent commitment to ADF values in supporting her peers, particularly during the lockdown. Midshipman Ray has graduated with a Bachelor of Arts and will continue her Maritime Warfare Officer training in 2022. The Commandant of Australian Defence Force Academy, Commodore Peter Lee, will now present the International Trainee Sword of Honour, which is awarded to Lieutenant Catherine Lee from the Republic of Singapore Navy. This award recognises the most exceptional performance by an international Year 3 midshipman or officer cadet in the fields of academic and military achievement, leadership, personal example and performance of duty during their time here at ADFA. During 2021, Lieutenant Lee was the Vice President of the International Students Association and she has been a respectful and effective advocate. At Australian Defence Force Academy, Lieutenant Lee studied a Bachelor of Science and will undertake a fourth year of study here in 2022. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Reviewing Officer, the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, His Excellency General the Honourable David Hurley, will now address the parade.
Well, good morning, a magnificent morning here in Canberra to recognise outstanding achievements by these remarkable young men and women standing before us. I could tell by the instantaneous applause that friends and parents here, family, thought you did a pretty good job today. So let's join in acknowledging that. Congratulations. Well done. And could I particularly thank the band and those members of first and second class who stayed behind from leave to assist in the parade today. Well done and good spirit shown there. Begin by acknowledging that ADFA stands on the land of the Ngunnawal people here in the Australian Capital Territory in the region. I pay respects to elders past and present and thank them for looking after this part of our beautiful country for generation after generation. So I acknowledge this morning His Excellency Mr Luke Honourable, High Commissioner of the Republic of Fiji, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, General Angus Campbell, Chief of the Defence Force and senior ADF members, Commodore Peter Levy, the Commandant of ADFA and the ADFA staff, Professor Avinder Sidhu, the Acting Rector of University of New South Wales, Canberra and the University of New South Wales staff, distinguished guests, graduates, particularly family today, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome again. Linda and I always find a great delight in coming to these parades to look at our nation's potential, our future, on parade before us. To the graduates, congratulations. 3 years ago you arrived here full of potential. Some of that potential has been achieved by being here today, but more is expected and more is to come. But let's put that aside today and let's celebrate. Well done. Could I particularly thank also the ADFA faculty, staff and instructors, the University of New South Wales, academic staff and the admin staff for your input into the cadets' education and training and your counsel during what has been a difficult year. And of course, families gathered here today or watching online, thank you for your support and encouragement of your loved ones. It's an enormously large part of their success being celebrated today. When Linda and I arrived this morning, we alighted at the Tree of Knowledge, which is the centrepiece of the ADFA precinct. It symbolises the journey of ADFA trainees, the journey of growth, development and particularly learning, an essential part of leadership. And there is a saying in the ADF that when you're promoted, graduating today, it's not a pat on the back. It's a sign that you can do more, and more than that, more is expected. As commissioned officers, either next year or the year after, you will be in command of Australians as they serve their country in uniform. Those under your command will expect you to know what you're doing. It's an enormous responsibility, but it's also a great privilege and will lead you into rewarding careers and lifelong relationships. Be confident that your training has prepared you for this role. Natural disasters and the pandemic have featured prominently during your last year of the course. In January and February this year, you supported Operation Bushfire Assist, providing around-the-clock support to Queensland firefighters battling blazes here in the ACT and southern New South Wales. And for those in the audience who may not know, the graduates helped ensure returning firefighters were well looked after when returning from the fire front. An example of service. And when COVID hit and ADFA activities were forced online,
I'm informed that the graduates met the challenge with ingenuity and good humour. They started online study groups, PT sessions and competitions to maintain morale. That's commitment to service and commitment to each other, so congratulations for that. I was discussing on the way here, I quizzed my ADC, what happened 80 years ago on the 7th of December, Tuesday next week will be the anniversary. I don't know what's happening in military education these days, but I had the prompter. 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Why do I raise that? When we were drawing our forces from Afghanistan about 7 years ago, the major forces, many soldiers, sailors, airmen came up to me at the time and said, well, sir, what's next? I said, I don't have a crystal ball, but what I do know is we haven't known where we're going until about 3 months before it happened. Your job now is to be ready, personally and professionally, and to ensure those you lead are ready personally and professionally. This has been a week or two of graduations in the ADF. A common quote I've used in each of them, and I think is important, comes from General Jim Mattis, former Commander of US Central Command and Secretary of the Department of Defence in the US. He said in his last book, they, the people you lead, expect you to have done your homework, to have mastered your profession. Why? Because they will place their lives in your hands. As I said earlier, this is an enormous responsibility. So congratulations to the graduates, particularly the Australian ones, but more so to our international students who have endured much during the time of their time here at ADFA in separation from family, given the lack of travel. Indeed, one of our Singaporean cadets today met her husband last night for the first time in 2 years. That is sacrifice, but that is what you are asked as a group to give to your nation. So congratulations, never stop learning, keep building on that potential and demonstrate your capability for yourselves, the servicemen and women who will serve under you, your families, and critically for our nation and for your nation. Good luck and best wishes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reviewing officer will now depart. Please stand for the departure of the Governor-General, who will be accorded a royal salute.
Right, 10, turn. Right, royal salute, present, arms.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The parade will now farewell the Chief of the Defence Force, General Angus Campbell.
Right, General salute, present, arms.
The parade will now farewell the Commandant of the Australian Defence Force Academy, Commodore Peter Levy, and the Rector of the University of New South Wales, Canberra, Professor Havinder Sidhu.
Parade General Salute. Present arms. Parade attention. Parade stand at end.
Well done, Peter.
Parade attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 Banner Party will now hand over the Governor-General's banner to the 2022 Banner Party. This represents an important milestone for the new Banner Party, where they become the custodians and protectors of the Governor-General's banner. The Banner Ensign is Midshipman Jazz Aegis Jones, and the escorts are Officer Cadet Anthony Hannon and Officer Cadet Georgia Forrestal.
Hand over the Governor General's banner.
The graduates of 2021 will now form mass for the last time as a cohort.
Right. Inwards, turn. Right, your format. Clear.
The graduating class will now form Academy in line. This is symbolic of leaving their current cohort and progressing into the next stage of their professional journeys. They will take with them the strong personal and professional relationships formed over 3 years by creating networks which will support them for the duration of their careers.
Right, reform right. Clear. Right, appointments. Return. Swords.
The Commanding Officer of the Australian Defence Force Academy, Lieutenant Colonel David Cave, will now fall out the graduates for the last time.
Graduating class of last time.
are now departing the parade ground. Would you please show your appreciation for such an amazing band?